Focus. In Aristotle's The Art of Rhetoric, the three forms of persuasion are ethos, pathos, and logos. These terms have deep meanings, but they certainly aren't complicated to understand. The hardest part is developing these forms of persuasion and making ourselves more effective in our witness. Let's first consider ethos. Quite simply, ethos is our character. It is the way that we live out our faith. As Christians, it is of the utmost importance that our lifestyle and our actions back up our words. Otherwise, we are perceived as nothing more than hypocrites. This is, of course, extremely important for those in positions of leadership. There is nothing worse for our witness to a non-Christian than preaching about God and a godly way of life and not actually living it out personally. Paul states this very matter in his letter to the church at Philippi. So that you may become blameless and pure, children of God, without fault in a crooked and depraved generation, in which you shine like stars in the universe. Philippians chapter 2, verse 15. Our lifestyle and character must back up our words. This will add authenticity to our message when a non-believer can see that being a Christian isn't some far-fetched idea, but something that is actively vibrant and visible in us. We must live out our faith. While there is nothing better than being able to back up our words with a visible godly lifestyle, there is also nothing worse than a bad witness. Someone who doesn't practice what they preach. Of course, as human beings, our faults, failings and weaknesses are all too often manifest, and it is sometimes hard to stick to the narrow path, which is why it is vital that we must constantly be in prayer and in the Word of God, asking Him to develop Christ-likeness in each of us. Secondly, we must consider pathos. Pathos is very simply the compassion and love with which we communicate our message. The way in which we share the message of salvation can influence the way in which it is received. For instance, it is possible to share the gospel with someone in the manner of an uncaring salesperson anxious to get the numbers. It's easy for some overzealous evangelists to fall into this trap, seeking results and converts rather than being motivated by genuine love for an individual. When we witness concerning Christ, it is vital that we do so for nothing other than the glory of God. As Peter emphasizes, this must be done with love and compassion. Always be prepared to give an answer to everyone who asks you to give the reason for the hope that you have. But do this with gentleness and respect. The first book of Peter, chapter 3, verse 15. This verse is key. Give an answer, but always be aware of the importance of the manner in which you give it. The final of Aristotle's forms of persuasion we should consider is logos. This is the words that we say. It represents the content of the message that we are presenting to non-Christians. It is amazing how powerful words alone can be. They have the power to build someone up and tear someone down. They have the power to make a person happy or to ruin a person. In the same way, the words of the gospel are the power of God to salvation. Romans chapter 1, verse 16. However, it is important that the words we share are the true and full gospel. God promises that whenever we speak His words, that they will never return to me, or God, void. Isaiah chapter 55, verse 11. What a great promise! When we speak the words that God would have us speak, they will always have an effect. These three forms of persuasion are all vitally important. To conclude, we must share the message of salvation, logos, with a real and vibrant passion and love for the recipient, pathos, and further authenticate our message with the manner in which we live out our life, ethos.